Yes, good evening, people. Welcome back to another episode of the Football Philosophy Podcast. My name is Abdi, and this is episode 3 of the football of the Euros football. I have with me today yours truly, Trey. Welcome to the show.
Yes, Abdi. Once again, it's always great being on the show. We've actually got a special guest, two special guests, in fact. Let me introduce one of them. I work with him closely at Goal Match Sports. We've got Bossman Gio.
Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Welcome, mate. Good to have you on the show again. And
My
Jesse,
pleasure.
and we've got
Thanks.
with us Jesse from what was the podcast?
Play to the whistle.
Yes,
Nice. Got always play to the whistle, 90-minute game.
Listen.
Thanks for having me.
No worries,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure.
Yes, bro. Huge United fan. Glad to have you on board.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. So we just watched the Euros right now. Belgium winning. Oh man, like obviously you could see them just winning that game comfortably, but it was a little bit difficult for them. It's all happening right now. We're getting into that third stage of the group stages at the moment, where teams right now we're finding out who's gonna go through and who's not. But this show is all about just to find out like our favorite moments so far. Who has been a sort of like your standout player? What kind of surprise team have you had? Is it Italy? Is it Holland? So let's start with you, Trey. Like, what have been some of your favorite moments so far?
Favorite moments in the Euros. It's been an exciting one because of the group of death. Obviously, you've got France, Portugal, and a few teams there. I love competitive games, and just seeing the two of the best teams in Europe play has been amazing. And me personally, I'm not going to lie, and I think Gio's going to agree with me. One of the surprise teams here is Italy. They've been playing fantastically.
Well, I don't think it's a surprise.
Yeah.
We are there to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are doing well. Actually, a part of the Euros, it's 30 games that we don't lose, and 11 games that we win. No goals, clean
Wow.
sheet for 11 matches. It's great. I haven't seen any Italy play like this. Never, probably ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
What has been some of your favorite moments so far from this Italian team, or from just in general the Euros?
Well, to be honest, I don't know if you guys have watched the Denmark match today.
Yes.
But Denmark did very well. I mean, they didn't win any match before today. They had the issue with Eriksen that changed the mind of every player when they have to face that kind of situation. And they didn't play basically against Finland and against Belgium. Yeah, Belgium is stronger than Denmark. So they had just one game to pass the group, and
Yes.
they smashed completely Russia today. It was a great match, and I'm surprised because something that happened like in the match against Finland is something that can change everything, can change the tournament, and they turn over completely. It was a surprise.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, for the players to go through what they have gone through, experience, the whole situation must have been obviously so traumatic for them. Jesse, what did you make of their like? It looks like obviously he's getting better. He's getting better now, but it kind of motivated them to do well for him. To this game today, Russia is not an easy team to get over like that.
No, definitely not. And I think when I first saw the group, I must admit that I'm quite surprised with the way that Russia have played. I expected them to perform a little bit better than they have. But I've been really impressed with Denmark, man. I think the way that they've responded and the way that they've all galvanized the group, and they've all I felt like they were playing with adrenaline in the game against Belgium, high on emotion. But obviously, once Belgium brought on You know, De Bruyne, Hazard. They stepped up the level of quality. But I'm really impressed with what they've done today, man. That's some amazing goals he scored today. And just the fight and the passion and the determination that they played with. Højbjerg was amazing today as well. And I'm happy that they got out of that group, man. I really am happy for them. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. What has been some of your favorite moments so far, Jesse?
You know what, weird? I don't know if you guys agree, yeah, but I think the Wales game against Turkey, I thought that was an amazing game, man. Some great moments, drama in that game. It was really it was end to end. Turkey had chances, Wales had chances. I was really impressed with that match, man. And I have to say, I'm surprised that they got out the group because I didn't have them getting out the group. So I have to put my hands up and say, like, yeah, I'm impressed with them so far, definitely. And yeah, Italy's been terrific. I think that's just no brainer in it. Like the way they've moved the ball, they've controlled games, the way they've pressed off the ball, the way the fullbacks have been bombing and like really helping out in the final phase of the attack. They've been playing really well, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean that seems to be a common theme so far. Like, you know, Trez already mentioned it, Giovanni, and now you. This Italy team is nothing like we've seen before. From Italian team to be playing like this, Giovanni, you're obviously more experienced than all of us in Italian football. You know Roberto Mancini, the kind of a player that he was when he was first playing for the Italian national team, when he was playing for Sampdoria. He was the kind of a player that was like so slick on the ball, you know, the likes of Zola. And he found it very hard to get into the Italian team and do very well. But right now you can see him, the team is mirroring his image and the kind
100%.
of player that he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, this just look at that, man. Look at that touch.
That's the one, man. That's the picture.
Yeah.
That is the picture.
And you know, here you go. Everybody just fell in love with this guy right now, man.
Of course. You know what? I'm not gonna lie, Abdi. This Italian team is very sort of reminiscent of the Milan team in the 80s with Ruud Gullit, Van Basten, because with Serie A, they're normally known for when you're 1-0 up, you sit back, you defend your lead. Whereas with this Milan team in the 80s, they were continuing to score 1 goal, 2 goals, push for more goals. And I feel that this Italian team right now, with Insigne, Immobile, Chiesa, Verratti, who had a great game from his injuries, they're playing with freedom. It looks like they're playing free-flowing football and they're always ready to attack.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, carry on.
No, I think with Mancini as well, I think his teams are usually set up like this, aren't they? Even when he managed Man City, his Inter Milan team was pretty similar to this too. And he always wants to play football. It's just if he's got the players available to do it. I remember watching, I think it was the Nations League when they played Bosnia. And it was pretty similar to what we've seen now, like on the ball, like creating chances, but they just couldn't pull it in the back of the net. Whereas now what we're seeing is it's ending up like with goals. And that's a big difference from what it's been in qualifying and like what I saw in the Nations League to this now. But yeah, it's been brilliant.
Absolutely. That's a very important point that you mentioned, because with that Man City team, even though they won the league title in 2012, Richards and Kelechi, all the fullbacks, the way that he used to use them, you can see him using this team the same way right now.
Yeah.
Giovanni, would you say that if you look at the players that Italy have right now, they all seem to be sort of like similar age in terms of the age group? There's no more like older players and then younger players, and then it used to be like some sort of a clash since the 2006 World Cup. It wasn't like a one age group, but right now they all seem to be sort of like same level. There's not like one star man quality. Everybody seems to be in the same level, same age. Do you think that's helping them as well?
Yeah, well, the fact that there's no star, it's pretty uncommon, because if you think about 2006, there were many stars. There were Totti, Del Piero, there was Pirlo, there was Inzaghi, Nesta, Cannavaro, Buffon. In this team, I think there are good players, but no one is a star. There are many players that maybe in 10 years we are going to remember as, oh, that guy was a star. I'm thinking about Verratti, I'm thinking about Barella, but also Jorginho won the Champions League this year. So
Exactly.
Immobile has scored a lot of goals, and we sometimes don't remember that. And of course, Donnarumma probably in 10 years will be still at the top of the world football. But at this stage, they are pretty much all of them are young players, and there is a kind of a mentality inside the team that remembers more the Italy in 1990 rather than the Italy in 1994 with Baggio, or later than 2006. It's more a kind of a young group that want to play first of all, and they want to win. They want to score. It's not just the normal Italy who score a goal and then defend. They enjoy playing. They want to score as much as they can. And actually, there is no just one striker. Everybody can score in the team, and that's advantage for Italy, because the opponent cannot understand who is going to shoot, or is going to probably score in the team. It's very hard to keep them outside the goal.
Absolutely, absolutely, and this is very important that you say that, because just you were saying the same thing in terms of having a manager who's not just happy to defend one lead or 1-0 lead or 2-0 lead, who's always gonna go for it. Why? Because at club level, and I said this on the last episode also, you don't have the players at international level for a long time. So you don't have too much time to train them. So sometimes you have to go with the system that they play for at club level. You look at this England team right now, and I'm very, very disappointed with what I've seen from them so far. They have been a complete and utter letdown, man. How can you go from a club level, like for example, Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, Harry Kane, and you've got these players here. You got Phil Foden, who plays for a manager who doesn't defend, who doesn't play of defensive football. He likes to play attacking football on the front foot all the time. And then you look at Gareth Southgate, the most pragmatic manager that you could see after probably Portugal's manager in here, and he's got all of these players at his disposal. Trey, man, what is it, man? Because you look at this team, bro. Like, come on, do you see the same way that we're talking about Italy? We should be talking about that England. Look at the players that they have. Why? Look at where's Harry Kane? Where are all the goals gone?
Honestly, if I'm 100% honest with you, look, I mirror how you're feeling right now in terms of how England are playing right now, and for me, it all goes down to, unfortunately, it goes down to management. For me, I don't think Southgate's the right man in terms of bringing out the best in these players, because it seems like he's picking players that he likes, like as favoritism, as opposed to players that are more effective in certain positions. For example, you've got Jadon Sancho, who is a winger. He's got a great assist record in Europe, and he can play on the right. But you would rather play Foden, who is not naturally a right-sided winger. You would prefer to play him over Sancho, who's bombing down in that wing and causing havoc. So for me, that's a big mistake there. You've got Grealish on the bench as well, who hasn't even had a sniff, hasn't had much games. So I feel sorry for Kane, because Kane is getting all the earfalls for not being able to create anything, but the midfield are not supplying him with enough, because the midfield is too restricted. Maybe free up the midfield by taking off one defensive midfielder and playing one centre midfielder who can create something in midfield. Maybe that will create more chances for Kane. And I'm hoping, there's rumours that both Grealish and Sancho will be starting for the next game. Let's see what happens when that generally happens.
Absolutely. Jesse, I'm going to come to you for next, yeah? Again, I'm going to come back to this point. Transfer what you see at club level to international level. if there are two players who work very well together at club level, and you happen to have them at a national level, use them that way. Now I'm talking about Luke Shaw and Marcus Rashford. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
you see
Yeah.
the way they link up on the left for Man United. Yeah, why not use that the same way for Rashford and Luke Shaw, and then that way also you could use Harry Kane, who could link up with Rashford the same way that he links up with Son. Again, transformation.
Yeah, I think with England, I think you both hit the nail on the head in terms of not replicating club level, but I'll bring up in a different way though. I think with in particular with Foden and with Sterling, I think we saw Foden play his best football for Man City on the left, and we saw maybe in the 8, and Sterling played some of his best football as a false 9 and on the right. I think that's part of the problem is that we're playing people in their wrong positions. So Foden's been out on the right, he's been ineffective. Sterling's played on the left, except the first game, he's been highly ineffective as well. And Mount has also kind of played on the wing on the left for Chelsea in that front three. I think that's the problem. I think if we had just even them players playing in their right positions, it would make even a lot of difference. But yeah, with the two DMs, I think in certain games it'll be needed, but we haven't got anybody. I don't think we've got anybody else that can play in a 2. So in that formation, you kind of have to play with them two. I think personally, but if he's going to change it and say a 4-3-3, then you could play Foden and you could play Mount, because Mount will work off the ball. He has a bit of discipline, so there's room and scope to do things. But I just thought in the Scotland game, I thought they just was a bit nervous. I think the hype got to them, the occasion got to the players, and they weren't playing the same way that they did in the Croatia game. And I felt like they played with a bit more freedom in that game, whereas it was a bit more tense. The fullbacks weren't really going forward. They weren't coming over the halfway line. They weren't really joining in. They was passing sideways a lot. And I just thought there was just a lot of nerves. No one really wanted to get on the ball. No one wanted to really make things happen. But look, we knew going into this tournament with someone like Southgate that he is defensive minded. He was going to always pick Mount over Grealish. He was always going to, go with like the defensive fullbacks rather than the ones that are better going forward, because he puts defensive priority over obviously going forward. So we knew that he was going to do that. But yeah, hopefully he can make a few changes. I know he made the comments today about, I think, Sancho being inexperienced or yesterday, which doesn't make any sense because he's played more European football than a lot of our attacking players. So we have to see what he's going to do in the next game. But I think they'll beat Czech Republic. But yeah, we have to see what happens.
Definitely.
Tomorrow's game is a must win. You have to, I would say just go with Jack Grealish as the number 10, Jadon Sancho on the right, Marcus Rashford on the left, or even Raheem Sterling. And then just see how it goes, man. Just go for it. Now, if we just move on a little bit now to a player that I have been very impressed with. I've been very, very surprised with him. And every time he plays for Holland, he does very well. Gini Wijnaldum, man, what is it about him, man? He's just 3 goals already in a major tournament. Giovanni, how is it that a player goes from hardly scoring for a club level and then they go into international level, a captain, and then scoring 3 goals just like that?
It's a good question.
Yeah,
it's a good question because actually, it's plenty now of players that sometimes don't have any experience internationally. Then they have the chance to play at this level, and I don't know. I think it's just football. It's just the dream of every player, and the fact that they are in there, that they take more responsibility, they can achieve a dream in some way, make them play at an outstanding level.
Yeah.
So, Trey, do you think that obviously there's no Van Dijk in that team right now, but people were looking into De Ligt as some sort of a leader in that team, but Gini Wijnaldum has come out of nowhere really, and he's really stepped up. He has shown some leadership qualities. Do you think Liverpool are going to regret selling him?
100%. For me, I've even mentioned it on sort of various of WhatsApp groups that we're on, football groups. I've said that Genie, he's an engine for Liverpool, and having that sort of engine in midfield allows certain players to go forward and play, such as the likes of Mane, Salah. You got Firmino who's going through the middle, Jota who can play in the left. They need that engine, someone in midfield who could just get the ball rolling. You've got someone behind them doing the sort of sweeper dirty work, and it's going to be very difficult to replace someone like Wijnaldum. So Liverpool, they've got a tough task here. I'm sure Liverpool fans right now are looking at Wijnaldum and they're thinking, "Oh my gosh, we could just let him go."
Yes, yes.
I think with Ronaldo, I think the difference that we're seeing now is just he's got more freedom, so he's allowed to obviously get further forward
Yeah.
because he's always had these goals in him. I think that was his. I think he's on 25 now for Holland, so it's not really new. It's not something new we're seeing with him, but I think he's just one of them players, man. He's just a victim of his own tactical intelligence because he's got such high football IQ. He can do what's asked of him from the manager. So when Klopp is asking him to sit, get the ball, recycle it, press, he's good at that. But when he goes to Holland and they want him to play higher at the pitch, link with the forwards, he can do that too. So I think he's just one of them gifted players that he can just do what's asked of him in any situation. It's just I think for Holland, for Holland, it's just that they give him more freedom. Whereas at Liverpool, because of that front three was so like aggressive in like pressing high and pretty much scoring the bulk of the goals, it's pretty much up to the midfield to do a lot of the work off the ball. So I think that's just the difference we're seeing with him. I don't think any Liverpool fans would be upset with like the way he's playing for Holland because I think they understand that when it's for Liverpool, he does what's asked for him.
He does, absolutely. And if you look at, for example, when he was playing for Newcastle, I think in one match he scored 4 goals.
Yeah, exactly.
They used to use him as an attacking midfielder in there, and it worked. He can absolutely do that. But I'm gonna go to Giovanni next, and this is the last one, the last point on Gini Wijnaldum. But Liverpool have said clearly to him, "You're not worth the amount that you're asking for." Now, if he was scoring the goals like he's doing right now, they would say to him, "Yes, we'll give you that contract and whatever you're looking for. And it doesn't matter even if you're 30 years old." But he was doing a very important job for them that it has not been recognized, that they think it can be replaced just like that. Now, you work with players. You work with high caliber players, high profile players. How do you ensure that this player and their profile gets into a place where it doesn't matter what position they play, that they can get the best contracts possible, because it's all about the recognition and it's all about the brand?
Let's say that it's not easy to manage that kind of a situation, because if you think about a player, especially when he's quite old, it's a bet. I mean, you can invest a lot of money or on a player that is old and that maybe plays well one season and then it disappears. This can happen with any player, but especially with old guys or with players that you are not sure to what is going to happen, because they are at the end of their career. It's hard for an agent to get the best in terms of contract. I think that on the hand, you should try to look at what the player have done in the past years, but on the other players, you should look also to the impact that the player had into the team, in the pitch, outside the pitch, and with the fans, because it's not just playing, it's a matter of things that are really important. So a player cannot play but can have a positive impact in the team. Player cannot play but be someone important and even if he doesn't score a goal. In Italy, I think we had a good sample of that at Juventus.
Yeah.
The third goalkeeper of Juventus is Carlo Pinsoglio. Pinsoglio basically never played.
Yeah,
But
I know.
I think it was during the New Year's Eve, last New Year's Eve. Pinsoglio was one of the few players at Juventus that was invited by Cristiano Ronaldo for the dinner, New Year's Eve. That means that his impact in the team is very huge, no matter the fact he's not playing, no matter the fact he's an old goalkeeper. But everybody can understand when someone scores, when the team is doing well, everybody is looking for him after a goal. And this matters. Fans on the social media were trying to convince the club to renew the contract for him. So this can have a very huge impact for any kind of player. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter the number in the pitch if there is a positive attitude for the team and if they motivate the team.
Absolutely. Team atmosphere is very, very important for that. Trey, I'm going to come to you next. Can you tell me one player that you have been impressed with that has just stood out for you?
Just one. Ooh. Why would you throw me in the hole? Because there's been so many sort of different players. All right, you know what? I'm going to say one player that the reason why I'm saying this player is because I predicted that he was going to do well, and he's currently doing well at the moment, and that's Lukaku. Lukaku's been absolutely phenomenal in terms of his strength, his overall footballing IQ has improved. I feel like it's gone to another level. Winning that title with Inter has allowed him to have the confidence to be like, look, I'm ready to lead the line for any team that I play for, and that's club and country. So at the moment, I think he's doing a great job. Even though he didn't score in the previous game, his off the ball work was really good. His link up play is improving, and I'm really impressed with Lukaku.
He's a handful for any team, any defense, man. Absolutely. Yeah, Jesse, is there any player that stood out for you apart from Lukaku and Gini Wijnaldum?
They've both been brilliant. I thought Spinazzola for Italy, the left back, he's brilliant in the first two games. Yeah, he was brilliant in the first two games. Not just running forward. Once he gets in the final third, he was very composed on the ball, comfortable. He didn't rush anything. He took the fullback on every single opportunity he could. So I've been really impressed with him. Also, the left wing back for Germany, Goossens, he's been really good too. I thought he's been really good in the first couple of games. Havertz as well. I thought he played really well against Portugal. Yeah, I think they're my three like standout ones for me.
Absolutely. Giovanni, is there like a surprise result so far that you were like, wow, I didn't see that coming?
The first half of the match between Hungary and France was surprising, of course, because France could lead 3-0, and then just the first shoot Hungary scored. But they did a very good match anyway. That group is very surprising. After also the match between Portugal and Germany. After 20 minutes, I was thinking, okay, Germany is out, and then Goossens made a match that was incredible, and it's funny because it was against Portugal. It was against Cristiano Ronaldo, and I don't know if you guys have read about it, but Gosens some months ago asked for the jersey to Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't give the jersey to him.
No.
And then his teammates at Atalanta gave a Cristiano Ronaldo shirt to him, just joking about this stuff. And if we look at that match, Gosen was outstanding, and he did very, very well. And I think he had to go to Cristiano Ronaldo and give him his shirt and say, "Okay, take mine this time."
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah, you're right, Giovanni. That result was a surprise result. We didn't see that coming. I think the problem with Portugal is that they are sort of like at crossroads. You have a manager who's a very pragmatic manager, but he's being forced to play attacking football that he's not comfortable with because of the quality of the players that he has at his disposal. When you have Bruno Fernandes, Diogo Jota, Bernardo Silva, and obviously the big man Cristiano Ronaldo, and then you have João Felix, you have to play attacking football. You cannot play the same way that he did in 2016. So the team doesn't look like they're comfortable playing this way, and it's sort of like just a mismatch. Semedo is not the best defender there is. So I'm a little bit worried for them right now, especially after seeing them concede so many goals to Germany of all teams, So yeah, it's quite surprising, man. Yeah.
I still think it's pragmatic the way they're playing. I just think there's an imbalance because he's trying to fit everyone in.
He's trying, yeah.
So because of playing Bruno with Jota, with Bernardo Silva all together, I think that's leading to an imbalance in the team. So it's kind of like you four just go and win us the game somehow. And the rest, everyone else just defends. But I feel like the balance isn't right, and the chemistry in the team ain't right, where it was in the past.
Look at the defenders, the two fullbacks. Semedo and Guerrero are not the best defenders. So
no, they're not. And
attack-minded ones.
They're attack-minded, and even like with Semedo, when he's been going forward, he's been wasting the ball. He's not really been effective as. I know they've lost Cancelo to obviously COVID, but if they had him going forward is much better option than Semedo. But I just feel with the front four, it's just not clicked for some reason. I don't know if it's like tiredness with some of the players or just the chemistry isn't right because they're all trying to do different things. Bernardo Silva's trying to play like 1-2s, like trying to play and get it going, whereas Jota's kind of just running in behind and they're not really linking up well together. And I feel as though they could be using Ronaldo Sanchez a bit more than they have. And I just think the balance hasn't been right in their team.
He has to use Renato Sanchez a bit more. You're right, and get the system right. For Portugal, I think the best way for them to do, I don't know if you guys agree, but it's to just play 4-4-2 diamond, and make sure that you have two midfielders who are very much defensive midfielders that can stay there when these fullbacks are attacking, because they're not the best defenders. Even Ricardo Pereira is better than Semedo. So I'm disappointed with Portugal, France, and England. I'm expecting them to get better. Let's see how the tournament goes in the next stages. But Holland, Italy, very, very, very much impressed with them. Trey, I want to talk a little bit about something that I don't like to talk about, which is VAR. It's been very controversial here in England, but the usage of it has been absolutely amazing in this tournament. I haven't seen any problems with it.
Yeah, maybe because now with the whole social media being involved in looking at different aspects of VAR, I think the levels had to be sort of they've had to step up the level in terms of the decision making and also making the right call without the sort of crowd influencing the referee and obviously the VAR team as well. I think they've done a great job. I hope it continues so we can have a fair tournament. And look, credit to the referees. well, we don't give the referees a lot of credit and the VAR team a lot of credit. So I think right now is quite fitting. So let's hope throughout the tournament it continues, so we could crown a champion with no controversy. But we can't say that as football. Anything happens.
Yeah, Giovanni, any words on VAR so far?
Well, I think well, in general, at the Euros, everything went pretty fine. It was interesting what happened in the Spain match, last Spain match,
Yes.
because the referee was very strong at decided against in a certain way. But I mean, I think it helps because I remember what happened before, and sometimes we have seen penalties that were not penalties, and goals, fake goals, and strange stuff. But sometimes VAR is, too precise. Because if it's just about a bit of the body that doesn't give you any advantage, or if it's just the point of your nose, it's ridiculous. But in this competition, is working. Of course, when we look at a league with much more games, the percentage of making a mistake increased. And sometimes we see something that is horrible. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. Jesse, any final words on that?
Do you know what? Like, I echo what you lot all said. I've really enjoyed VAR in this tournament so far. I think personally, though, the difference with VAR in this tournament is just the referees and the standard of the refereeing. I think it's just a better standard than what we have in England. And I think that's why there's less problems with the VAR system. Because I know when we watch like the Premier League here, we're always like, a lot of fans complain about VAR. But I think it's just the refereeing and it's the standard of refereeing, because the guys doing the checks on VAR are referees, aren't they? Yes. So I think it's just the standard here is not as good as what we're seeing at the tournament. Even the quickness of when they go to check is a lot quicker than what happens over here. Sometimes the game stops for 3-4 minutes. It's done in 30 seconds in this tournament. So I'm happy with it. I've got no issues with it.
Absolutely. So far, guys, I've really enjoyed the Euros, man. To have football on every single day, and not just only football, but to see fans in the stadiums is just absolutely amazing. Just final words on England tomorrow. They're playing. Come on, Gareth Southgate, just do something. What's your predictions, guys? Because I can only see a 0-0 or a lucky 1-0, something like that for England.
You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna be optimistic, man. I'm gonna say England will win 2-0.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is depending if Grealish and Sancho start. Them two need to start. If I don't see them two starting, and if I don't see maybe Rashford with Shaw, with Kane, like you said, on the pitch, then we're not looking at another 2-0. We're looking at maybe 0-0 or lucky 1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I would be surprised if he made full changes across the front line. But if he changed the whole front line, it wouldn't bother me. But I think 2-0 as well. I think it would be improved performance on the last game. And because the guys know that they've got to get the win, they've got to get the job done, I think they will. So you've got to be optimistic as well, yeah.
Would you start Dominic Calvert-Lewin over Harry Kane?
Yeah, I would, personally. Look, Kane, there's nothing wrong with it either. I don't have nothing against him. I'm not going to slag him off or anything like that. But, it's 2 games, no goals. He's not really played that well. There's not a massive issue with just trying Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I don't think.
Just see how it goes.
Also, just see how it goes. But I'd bring, like what Trey said, I'd bring in Grealish, I'd bring in Sancho, because we need more creativity up front. We need more movement. We need guys that are going to pull people out of positions and play passes that will break the lines, and that's what we're lacking at the moment.
Absolutely. Yeah, Giovanni, what can you see England doing tomorrow?
No, well, in my opinion, guys, you are too worried about England. I mean, I think England didn't play a good match against Scotland, but just because Scotland was more motivated, because it was Scotland against England.
100%.
But in general, they didn't play bad against Croatia, and they shouldn't be too much worried about the Czech Republic. I've seen Czech Republic playing against Italy, and to be honest, they didn't seem to me very, very strong. I think England could win the group, could lead the group at the end, and maybe they are not going to score 3-4 goals, but at least 1 or 2, yes.
I mean, they should be Czech Republic, but I'm talking about even the build-up to the Euros, the other matches that they played. It's just been very, very disappointed with. I don't like to see 2 holding midfielders, bro. That's where my issue is with England. I don't like to see that, especially unless you're playing like a team like Croatia, who have 3 world-class midfielders in there, or almost all of them are 3 world-class midfielders in Brozovic, Modric, and Kovacic. Unless you've got those 3 midfielders playing against you, you don't really need 2 holding midfielders to be running after the ball, to be chasing it. When you're playing against Czech Republic and Scotland, come on, man, just go for it. That's more hope with England, man.
Yeah, but you know, if you think about all the victories in of the English clubs in the recent years, and if you think about the managers, no one was English. So why there is an English guy coaching England?
Yeah, it's true.
Has there ever been an English manager winning the Premier League since 1992?
Yeah.
When he restarted.
There's a reason why.
Yeah.
There's not a single English manager.
No.
Exactly. I think the FAI, should work
I'm
more.
actually thinking about it as well.
So was I. Yeah, just 2. Yeah.
There isn't.
I mean, if you look at all the managers who've won it, Sir Alex Ferguson, Kenny Dalglish has won it with Blackburn, I believe.
Ranieri has won it with Leicester.
Ranieri, you've got Italians winning it. You've got Pep Guardiola, Spanish, winning it. Jose Mourinho, Portuguese, winning it. Arsene Wenger, who's a French manager. Ancelotti also winning it. Just so many Italians, man.
Yeah,
and
Italians are
smashing
it.
But we have an academy in Italy to
I was going to say, there's a coaching academy there, isn't there?
Yeah. You see the levels.
Yeah.
Probably
The
something that
coaching
in England.
Yep.
Yeah. The coaching levels in this country, obviously, I do believe that it's been getting better. Like right now, we've got more young managers, the likes of Graham Potter, the likes of Eddie Howe. We'll see how it goes. But, Steven Gerrard also doing very well at playing attractive football, attacking football. Frank Lampard, if he was given a bit more time, maybe he could have done well at Chelsea. But they need to follow the route of Germany, where you can see so many world-class managers coming out there, being given chances, people believing in them. But England, we have to step up. We have to do better. And, players like Sol Campbell, who's asking for opportunities, he's going to interviews and no one is calling him back. And we're talking about Sol Campbell here, just a player.
But, I think with England, I think the problem why we have the coaches coming through, but the problem is, for me personally, I don't think we give them the chances that they need. So like what you just said is the truth, but in Italy or Germany, they give managers from the lower league clubs a chance to elevate and improve. I think Conte started in Serie C, didn't he? When he started his coaching career on Serie B. Sarri was the same, wasn't he? Sarri started in the lower leagues. So they give their managers a chance, and they don't really criticize them if they don't do it with these clubs. They still get a chance at other teams, and I think even Jurgen Klopp was the same. I think he was at Mainz for like 6 or 7 seasons. He got relegated with them eventually, but he still got a chance at Dortmund. But with England, we don't give our managers that kind of chance. They kind of get to a certain level, and
I got a point as well to add as well to what you're saying, and it's absolutely great that you've obviously brought up the subject. Also, for me, I think our managers were looking for jobs here. Yep, that's completely understandable. But for me, why don't some of these guys venture out, try manage in Italy, try manage in Spain, go abroad? Because if you think about someone like Mourinho, for example, before he managed Porto, where did he go? He went to Barcelona. He learned his trade from Brian Robson, Barcelona. He was able to see the likes of R9, Ronaldo. Can you imagine just seeing him live, taking training sessions? So that experience allowed him to go to a team like Porto and be like, look, I've managed the likes of so-and-so in this country. I could implement it here with Porto and do great things. And look what he done. So I think our sort of future managers branch out, go abroad, Italy, Spain. Even you're seeing the players doing this, and look, they're thriving. June Bellingham, Sancho, they went out of their comfort zone to go out and make something happen. And look what's happened. So I think we need to start doing that.
Yeah,
Brendan Rodgers did that.
Yeah.
So even though he didn't actually coach abroad, he went. I think he went to Barcelona, Valencia, Sevilla. He went to Ajax and I think another club in Holland, just to go and see training, go and speak to the coaches and see what they do and the methods that they use, and picked up different things from different places. And even if you're not going to actually coach somewhere, even if you're just going to do that, that helps improve you as a coach as well.
I mean, we have the perfect example in Graham Potter. He went to
Sweden.
Managed in Sweden, then he comes back to manage in Swansea, and now he's got the opportunity. I think if they give him the Tottenham job, I think he can do an amazing job in there. But
I agree.
They've got their eyes set on someone else. But yeah, also you can see Eddie Howe. I believe that he went to watch a training session with. Was it Napoli manager or Atalanta? I don't know which one it was. Sarri or Atalanta?
I'm not sure. Eddie Howe.
I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it was one of those teams that he went to watch the training session, probably more to do with Atalanta. But yeah, I mean, you have to go out there. And also, you're right, Jesse, the point that you made about not being given chances. Whereas if your name is, instead of Harry, if your name is Harinho, you're more likely to get a chance.
Yeah, so it's the truth, yeah. But and we're the only, and it's the only country that does it, you know. The other countries, they develop their own coaches and they use them and trust them, but we don't do that. We let them get to a certain level here, and then we don't trust them or give them the chance.
You look at Bayern Munich here. They've hired Nagelsmann, who's hardly had any experience at a major club, who has never won a major tournament in his life, and they're giving him the job. Why? Because they said after Carlo Ancelotti, we just want to hire a German manager, a German-speaking manager. We would just want to go that way because they've had clashes with Ancelotti. They couldn't get him on board. They looked at Pep Guardiola. Just 3 years, it didn't work out. Now they go with a young manager. You know,
there's nothing wrong with
it. A club like Tottenham, a club like Tottenham, they have to go for Graham Potter. But if I say that to a Tottenham manager, to a Spurs fan, they're gonna get pissed off. They're like, "What? Yeah. We're not a relegation club."
Why exactly. It's silly. It's silly.
Yeah.
It's a silly way to think of it.
Yeah, it is very silly. But it's the longer project. It's the bigger picture. So I agree with you guys definitely.
Yeah. I mean, a bit of transfer news. Harry Kane, apparently City won him, 100 million. How much do you think, guys, he's gonna go, and is he actually gonna go?
What do you think, Gio?
I think he doesn't worth that much, to be honest. He's a bit old, and I mean, if you had some money, you can buy Haaland.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
do they even need him? Do they even need Harry Kane? Like, they've scored so many goals.
I think it's just an option, really, isn't it? As they've lost Aguero, I think they need someone to come in, but I think that's enough money. I don't see that. I think they're saying 100 million plus even players as well. So that should be enough. If they want more than that, it's silly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's a really good deal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Harry Kane, like what Gio's saying, he's coming up to a certain period where the age, making that sort of bid for someone around that age is a bit. But I think Tottenham can't say no to that. And if I'm honest with you, City do need an out and out number 9 striker, because at the moment, when Aguero is gone, they've got Jesus, who is a bit 50-50. He's not someone that's going to go and get you 20 goals a season. Whereas you go and get Harry Kane, that's 25 plus a season. Especially with the system, the way Man City play, Harry Kane would be he's getting 30 goals a season.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully United will sign Jadon Sancho, but the transfer window, man, is very, very long if you're a United fan. It's just depressing, man.
Yeah.
Tom Heaton, world-class goalkeeper. That's all you need, right? To win the Premier League title.
Yeah, we need another one. We missed out. We missed out on the Donnarumma. I would have given him the 12 mil that he wanted.
Wasn't it 20? Was it 20?
Was it 20? How much was it, Gio, that he wanted? Donnarumma.
Or the signing on fee for
20. I think it was around 20.
20.
I think it was 20 that Raiola wanted for himself as a signing on, as a fee.
So greedy, isn't it?
I think that's why Milan went for the Lille keeper.
Yes.
Because they didn't want to pay the 20 million to Raiola. I think that's what it was, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah. They didn't want to pay that but I think if I remember well, PSG is going to give him about 12 million. Yeah.
12 million. Yeah.
Good job for 21-year-old goalkeeper. Man, where are we heading in this game, man? I don't know. But I wouldn't go anywhere near any of his clients. Haaland or not, I don't care. I'm not gonna go anywhere near of your clients. Just keep them away from my club. That would be my policy, man. Because I don't like him one bit, man.
The crazy stuff is that they are going to do this after renewing the Navas contract for 8-9 million per season. So you're just spending 22 million in goalkeeper salary.
Reckless, absolutely reckless. But then again, we've seen Bayern Munich paying 25 million for a manager. That has never happened before. 25 million.
Yeah.
But I think with agents like Raiola, they're as good as the player, their clients. So with his clientele, he's always gonna get them good moves, and he's always gonna get more players because of that. So you're gonna have to deal with him because of the standard of players that he has. So he's always gonna be around. He's been, because it's over 10 years now, nearly 15 years he's been around, or more. Yep. So he's not going nowhere, man.
I know, and the worrying the worrying thing for me is he has every single young player that is actually looking very good that's coming from Holland and Germany. They're all under his book.
Yeah,
but that's why though, because he can get them the big moves, and the dream moves, the life-changing moves, and as a player, that's what you want your agent to do for you. You want them to get you.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Yeah, I'll sign your player, but guess what? Yeah, I'm gonna make you sign a contract that you can never chat rubbish about my club at any social media platform. Don't do that. Don't be disrespecting, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot have that. A player like Pogba, he should never ever let him talk about Man United that way. He should never ever let him talk about Sir Alex Ferguson that way, because you can't
But
talk
it's
about
just-
Sir Alex Ferguson that way and get away with it.
But yeah, but I think I get what you're saying, and as a fan, it's frustrating. But I think as a, you know, as the agent, he's just drumming up interest in his player to get more money, and so for him, it's just they're all business moves that are going to lead to more money. So
You know what's so funny as well?
As a fan, it's really annoying, but you always can. I can see why he does it for the financial reasons.
Let me just say this one point. So right now, I'm just looking at the agency with the most players. So if you look at ICM Stella, they've got 30 players in the Euros, and the value for the players is actually 535 million. Now Raiola, who's remember this is a big group. Raiola, who's just himself, has 12 players, and you know how much 12 players that's worth? 432.9 million. So it just goes back to the point with what you're saying in terms of the high caliber players that he has in his portfolio. He can demand for this sort of money, and unfortunately, we may hate him as a character, but we're gonna have to deal with him at some point or another. And Gio knows. I'm sure if Ronaldo gives us a call and says, "Look, we're looking for a sponsorship with a major brand," we're gonna have to work with Raiola, isn't it?
Well, you know it works. When you have someone behind like Raiola or like George Mendes,
George Mendes, even
they can get any kind of player, any kind of brand that they want easily. But because they actually did well for
That's what, yes,
for dozen of years. They are good professional.
Yeah. I'm all for player protection, because at the end of the day, clubs, all they want to do is make money.
But also, let's not forget as well, like the players are grown men, yeah. So when Raiola is saying some of these things in the media, Pogba can come out himself and say, "Just relax, calm down, don't say." But he doesn't do that. So we also got to take that into account as well. That I love Pogba as a player, great player for us. I have no issues with him. But if he wants to, he can tell his agent just to calm down. Don't say this in the press. Don't say this in the media. You're upsetting the club. But he doesn't do that. So I think you have to hold the players accountable as well because they pay these agents to look after them. So, you know, it's a bit of both.
You look at Kevin De Bruyne, you know, he signed a new contract with Man City worth £425,000 a week without having an agent. Just lawyers present, and that's it. Think about that. It's all about
same with Depay just now going to Barcelona. He just done that with lawyers. He doesn't have an agent. So all these players do it differently. And Raiola's changed a lot of careers. He's helped a lot of these players. He's done well for Zlatan with all the moves that he got with him. So look, you know, they're agents. They're there to get the most money possible, and that's what they do.
The players, they do need that protection, because clubs would like to take advantage of any player, especially a young player. Like you're too excited. You think, oh, 10K, 20K, but actually you could be worth even more than that weekly. So sometimes an agent can be very helpful in that aspect. But I do believe that as a player, you have a responsibility not only for your club, but also for yourself, to represent well and to make sure that, you know, the club that's paying you, that's been there all these years for you, that they're not doing anything wrong to you, then you shouldn't let your manager, your agent be talking about them that way. That's just what I believe. But anyway, guys, it's been absolutely enjoyable. Jesse, thank you so much for joining on this show with us today.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
I know I know you were just finishing your other podcast as well, so you've been with us for a whole hour, you know, so I do appreciate this, you know, and it's getting very late. Thank you so much,
guys. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for having me.
No, I appreciate it. It's great having
Play
you,
to the
man.
Whistle podcast. Yeah. How can people
Yeah.
reach you on Twitter?
Yeah, just follow me on Jess2889 on Twitter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Play to the Whistle podcast is available on all podcast platforms. Yeah.
Yeah, on all podcast platforms, and it's at the PTTW podcast.
Oh, sweet.
Excellent. Giovanni, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's always my pleasure, Abdi.
Excellent. Nice to talk to you again. Take care,
Nice
Trey.
to meet you
man.
again.
Cheers, bye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adios, guys.
Guys.
Cheers.
Still ending. Don't know what's going on. Okay, just having a